Hello tubers and tubettes. My name is David and I live in Northern California. Today I was going to talk to you about some honeydews that I have. We have our friend, and it's so funny how life is. We have our friend coming up to visit us, and him and his new girlfriend are going to stay at our house. So we have to make it look like our house is not lived in. And like all of this stuff is really nice. My wife is just a little obsessed with it. So I've got a bunch of little things that have never gotten done. I need to get the dang things done. So I guess it's good that people come and visit you, because it does force us to fix up our house. I don't know why we're like that, the procrastination and walking by things that look pretty bad, but you just haven't even looked at them, you know. The other day, my wife said, "Oh, did you go up to the bedroom?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Did you see the chairs?" I go, "Yeah, I think I saw the chairs." Why? She goes, "Well, I got all the stuff off of it. You know, now you can see the chairs. You can sit in the chairs." Because I should probably say, we like to pile clothes inside of the chair. So there's so many clothes that you can't see the chair anymore. So she had done a good job of cleaning out all the clothes, but there was still a lot of stuff around, you know, inside the chair. It wasn't totally clean. So, but I'm not complaining. I mean, you know, that was the effort that she made to do it. And so I have a couple of things that I want to get done, you know, put together. I had a table that was sitting in another room that sat there for like a month. I got it all assembled, and that's my hobby room, my YouTube room, I would say, where I do my drawings from my pools. And then I also going to do some of my epoxy resin stuff that I do. And I had bought a table at Harbor Freight, and I was just like really not looking forward to thinking about having to focus and get that table put together. But as always, it always kind of went together easier than I thought. And now I have a fire heater that has the tube, a glass tube that goes up the middle, and then you light it with propane, and then the propane goes up the flame, you know, to kind of give it this crazy flame looking thing. So I ended up buying one on eBay. Of course, it came in a big box, and it's sitting in my lobby, or in my not my lobby, my entryway. So I have to put that together. Not looking forward to that either. And I'm always issues about, you know, gas and hooking up gas stuff. So I was hoping to get that and then use it and let it run, and use all the propane that I have in those tanks that I ended up getting for free, because I'm kind of concerned about the tanks being I know that the propane is about 10 years old, because her husband had died like 10 years before, and the propane tanks and the generator that I ended up getting, they've been on the side of her house for 10 years, she said, over 10 years. So first I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I got all this propane." But then I started thinking, I talked to friends, and they go, "No, propane doesn't go bad. You could still use it." Yeah, but I feel better, you know, just using the propane in this burner thing. And then I can refill up the propane tanks. That way, when I go ahead and get the propane tanks refilled, and I get ready to start up my my generator, then I'll have fresh propane in there. At least that's my idea. So I've got 3 tanks, and they're pretty much full of propane. So I'm going to be running that heater for quite a bit, I think. I actually thought about even offering one to my brother-in-law. They could take it up to camp and they could use it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm not doing it because of that. I just want new propane in the tanks, and we need to weld up like a place where it could sit on the back of my truck. You know, it could be really secure. So I want that to be empty tanks that we're working with. You know, we're not trying to weld around or move around, you know, propane tanks that are full of propane. So anyway, those are the 2 things that I've been thinking about. So I'm going to go in and do the right thing with my wife and ask her, what would you like me to do first? This is what I'm thinking, but what would you like to see done first? And then she can tell me, what she's thinking about. And that's going to be better to go from that standpoint. I just went and got her Diet Coke for the morning. And so I've got to take some clothes to the dry cleaner. And then my mother-in-law got stuff all over her clothes yesterday, her jacket. So I said, well, I'll just take it for you. So she told me no starch and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to take it. And then my wife gets these clothes that are sent to her. There's a name for it, where you can try them on, and the ones you don't want to try on, or the ones you don't like, you put them back in this bag, and then you can send it back to them. So I've got that bag with me too. And then while I was at the AMPM, they told me that they don't have a plan of concrete being changed. So I have to try to see if I can find that stuff. In fact, I think I'm going to try it while I'm here outside. Well, I'm going to take the Coke in to Kim, and then I can try and get that resolved. So that's just things that just happened since I got up. So I'm going to try to look around and see if I can get all this resolved. All right, well, thanks for looking, and appreciate your guys' time. Bye-bye.